So I had an idea. I've needed to upgrade my CNC end mill storage for a long time now. I spend way too long at the beginning of each project hunting down the different end mills I need for a set of operations. I knew I wanted something that would be out in the open, easily accessible, but also out of the way. I wasn't sure how I wanted the layout of the actual storage of the end mills, but I knew that if I could make something that would work well enough, I could use it, assess what changes would need to be made, and improve the workflow down the road. So I decided on a fixed set of angled shelves that would have magnets embedded in them that would mate with a modular piece that I could easily replace as my needs and workflow changed. Once I finalized my design, I jump into Fusion 360 to draw everything up in CAD. This may seem like a lot of effort for a simple project, but the practice of building something in CAD helps me catch potential pitfalls before I waste any material. Plus, once you get used to Fusion, it really doesn't take that long. And while this is a relatively simple project that could be cut out with any manner of tools, I like using the CNC to cut things out like the side brackets on this so that I can work on other parts of the project at the same time. The CNC parts also come out with minimal cleanup needed, and the project just goes together a lot faster. Another bonus to drawing everything up in CAD is I get to use dimensional drawings and set up sheets for both the CNC and just the general cuts that I need to do. I love using these things, and they've saved my sanity more times than I can count. So while the CNC is busy cutting out the brackets, I'm going to cut out the rungs for each shelf. I wanted these to be an easily repeatable dimension so that down the road, if I decide to switch things up on the modular piece, the magnets are easy to line up and I don't really have to think much about it. Simple measurements makes everything down the road even easier. And again, just a little cleanup on these pieces and they are ready to move on. I tend to have no shortage of scrap plywood around the shop, so in the event that I need a new piece, it should be a pretty quick and simple process of trimming it down, marking, drilling, and adding some magnets. I love working with rare earth magnets. They're an incredibly versatile tool that I use all over my shop and in projects regularly. And if you pick the right drill bit and mark the depth carefully, you can pressure fit these for most things. I think maybe 3 of them needed to be glued in, which isn't really a big deal, and if any of them loosen up over time, it's just pretty simple to make sure that they don't come back out with a drop of CA glue. And here we're just double and triple checking the polarity. The last thing I wanted to do was get these all in and then have them jump off rather than stick to the mating magnets. For this kind of project, I don't need things to be super exact, but I do want to get a good idea of some sort of layout. I want to see where my different size end mills will fit, what kind of spacing is comfortable to pick them up. I really want to emphasize usability on this. I've seen a lot of end mill holders that just cram as many bits in one area as they can or in a drawer. I want this to just be accessible and usable without thinking too much about it. So here it is. I'm really happy with how this project turned out. And as I was building it, I realized that I had plenty of space to include my drill bits up at the very top, something I didn't consider when I was designing it. I also thought I was going to have to build a special place for it on the CNC, but the magnets fit perfectly on my side rails, so another unintended happy side effect in the design.